साल हो गए हैं काश 24 को शुरू हुए, right? World has changed in 9 years. A lot has changed in 9 years. Gurgaon has changed. India has changed. Internet has taken us by storm. Data consumption has gone up. 2015 में we were still paying for calls. In fact, one of our big expenses in our initial days was the calling expenses that we would reimburse for all our employees. And when Jio made calls free, it was a relief for us because one of the expenses for us just literally went down to negligible. That point in 2015, when nobody knew us, when we were desperate to be heard, to tell our story, to tell how we have a great proposition for someone looking to sell their car, I think it to some extent justified the calling approach that we took. But what has happened in last 9 years is calls have become free. So it's not just us. There are millions of other small and big companies, agents, brokers. Everyone is making calls all the time. I personally keep my own phone on DND all the time. All the time. Approach doesn't work. So the point is, what we did in 2015 is definitely not relevant today. Times I talk about getting stuck in status quo. This is one of those examples where we are stuck in the status quo. We are doing things exactly the way we were doing 9 years ago, and we are not questioning ourselves. And whatever changes are being suggested, proposed, discussed, they are all incremental. So we need to look at our entire approach of calling, messaging, the whole communication that we do with the customer from scratch. We need to forget that we exist for 9 years. If we were to start this company today, I don't think we will have the same approach. We get compared to Bajaj Finance. We want to be compared to them, hopefully for becoming one of the best companies in India, not to be compared for being another spammer like Bajaj Finance. There are customers complaining about calls originating late at night. Frustrated users are writing things like, I want to kill someone if I don't find somebody to kill at Cast 24. People are tagging PMO, Narendra Modi ji, please help me. People are obviously tagging try. Many have tried to invoke God, that only God can help them now, so that they don't get calls from Cast 24. Many people have questioned, how the hell do you guys call me when I have do not disturb enabled? So the hacker mentality in us, we have ensured that we are able to call anybody we want. Look at it, we need to look at it bottom line. So last week when we were discussing the calls, we said, why don't we ask our own people, what do they feel about the calls? So I think 350 Autonauts responded to that survey. Thank you so much. 8 out of 10 said they have received complaint from friends and family. I think that's pretty embarrassing. As a statistics, to be working at Cast 24 and being told by somebody, oh, you work at Cast 24, yaar call bahut karte ho aap log. I have heard that. I am sure many of you have heard that. So we have to do something about it. 7 out of 10 people feel we need to look at the whole approach. Maybe we need to do WhatsApp first, call later. For me, the surprising part was that 30% are still okay with getting calls. So clearly, I don't think the answer is that we take out calls completely or do not call at all. But there is clearly a healthy mix of people, let's say 50-50. Let's say some people have their preferences, and one of the things we were discussing is it depends on your context, it depends on the time of the day, it depends on how you are feeling, it depends on how busy you are. You may be okay taking a call, you may want to do a communication on WhatsApp, it depends. So can we create an answer that where the power is truly with the customer? And I think the most important thing here is use messaging smartly. Now, one of the things that all of us are aware is that even in our own communication with our friends and family, aren't we becoming WhatsApp first, or aren't we already WhatsApp first? I don't think most of us today pick up the phone as a default. It's with very few people perhaps. My default, for example, is message first. And then I may make a call if it's urgent. But most of the things get done on WhatsApp. So why do we even need to call as default? Why can't our approach be WhatsApp first? One of Autonauts actually said that one of the reasons I don't do product testing or I don't want to test our own products is because I'm scared that I will start getting so many calls. So I think that's really sad, and I take responsibility for it, that even our own people don't want to even try using our product, because once they give their mobile number, then we will be calling them all the time. So there are 3 problems that we could think of. The first, next slide. So the first problem, like we know, is obsessive calling. Way too many calls. Some statistics for you guys, since we all love data. 20 lakh customers on an average are getting 3.5 calls from us every month. So that's 70 lakh calls in total. But 3.5 calls is our average. So itna to hum aapko pareshan karenge hi. Now, where it gets interesting, and I don't know how this happens, we'll deep dive, is that 10% of our customers, so roughly 1.5 lakh customers, get 25 plus calls. This is incredible. Now, of course, many of them may have done a transaction with us, and RAs would have had several discussions and so on. But again, on the surface, this 25 plus calls seem crazy. And then there are 20,000 customers who have got 50 plus calls from us. I don't think our transaction, no matter how long or how complex, is something that genuinely needs 50 plus calls. So something we have to solve for immediately. The second big problem, again, I don't think is surprising to anyone, is that there are no handoffs. So what happens is that from one call to another, when a CC agent calls, or when an RA calls, or a CA calls, they mostly have no clue what conversation somebody else had before them. And this becomes even worse when a customer is calling. Now, many times when a customer is calling for their grievance, I want the price of the car, they have to narrate the entire story again. For example, if a customer has a point that, look, you have wrong information about my insurance, he or she may have to narrate it to 5 different RAs, because we would have changed 5 different RAs in next 10 or 15 days of their interaction. Our social media team decided to be cheeky, and they had some post about us saying that it doesn't matter who, I don't remember exactly, but it doesn't matter who calls you or not. What was it? Yeah, I think it was something like, it doesn't matter whether you succeed in life or not, or your friends call you or not, but Cars24 is always there to call you. I got a beating on that post also, because I liked that post. I got beaten up by many users who did not find it funny, because for them it's annoying. It's super annoying. So, you know that a joke is not working when people start hating it. So again, something to be done about it. Okay, what do we do? I think we are in 2024. We need to look at how we can leverage the tools, and how can we think about it first principles. As I said, what if we were to start the company today? How will we do this? And I think the theme here is, we have to be smart. We have to provide right assistance. This brute force is not going to work. We will not do brute force going forward. So what does smart assistance means? I think simply the key theme is, give power to the users. Let the users decide, first of all, whether they want to be reached out at all or not. Second, if they want to be reached out, is it through phone? Is it through SMS? Is it through WhatsApp? Or a mix of multiple channels? Give them that power to decide. Let them decide when to reach. Weekday, weekend, which day of the week, which hour of the week, mornings on weekdays, afternoon on weekends, specific days. Do not reach me specific days, reach me anytime. Give them the power to decide when should we connect with them. We started internally brainstorming on, okay, what does it mean? right? What can we do apart from giving power to the users? So we just simply asked ourselves, how do I call an acquaintance? How do I myself call somebody I get connected to? How do I reach out to them? And like I said, more often than not, we send a WhatsApp first. So we have to ask ourselves, why aren't we taking a WhatsApp first approach? Which is send a message to the customer, explain who you are, why you are calling, seek their permission to give you a call or talk to you. And if they respond, yes, you can continue with the conversation. And even if they do not respond, at least you have set some context before you make the call. I think that is how I would design if I were to design from scratch today. I would first send a WhatsApp. I will set the context. I will let them know that looking forward to their response. And if they do not respond, yes, I may take liberty of calling them, but calling with a context. When I call, I will say, hello sir, I had sent you a message. I just wanted to take your 1 minute and see if it's a good time to talk. So I'm not saying we don't have to call, but maybe there is a more respectful way, there is a smarter way we make these reach outs. Is C plus 3A. This was devised by Mehul in 2016. Mehul has since then moved on to international business. We have inherited this legacy and made it our own completely, that we will call everybody 3 times till the time the person does. If the person is not answering, I'll keep calling 3 times. Maybe it's a time to relook at it. Why can't the approach be start with WhatsApp and make 1 call? 1 WhatsApp, 1 call. Why does it have to be 1C plus 3A? Why not 1W, 1C? Something for us to think about. It could be 2W, 1C, 1W, 2C. We can iterate and create an answer, but I think a WhatsApp followed by a call, the customer knows that you have reached out to them. They have a message from you on the WhatsApp, right? There is a lot we can do from an etiquette perspective. Every time we call and the customer doesn't answer, we need a personalized, contextualized message that we try to call. In today's world, I think making a call to somebody, and if it doesn't get answered, not leaving a message, I personally feel it's rude, because you're taking that person for granted. Right? I myself, if I have to call somebody, I don't usually call, I usually send WhatsApp. If I have to really call somebody and they don't answer, I always leave the message that, look, I tried calling you, this is the context, let me know when we can speak. I think these are basic etiquettes. Again, something we are not doing today. There is Gen AI. This is a bit crude version, but we have put it to show that all the WhatsApp and all the calls that we are making can be fed into GPT, and we can create nice summaries out of it, so that anybody, customer care, experience teams, finance teams, operations team, anybody who is calling the customer or is reaching out to the customer has full context of what's going on. We can have detailed transcripts, we can have summaries, we can have to-dos. In fact, hopefully one version of this will go live in the Pulse app soon enough, which is built with the purpose of handoff. So for example, whatever conversation a buyer may have had with our call center and their history of browsing our own app, the summary of that will go to the CA for them to be able to provide the right assistance. Again, the keyword here is smart assistance, right assistance, not using brute force, but understanding what customer really needs. WhatsApp is a great tool. Let's use it like it's a rare superpower. Let's not abuse it. God knows how many handles today. We have tried to incubate multiple businesses. Each business thinks that they have right to send any number of messages to the customers on WhatsApp. It doesn't work. I know some of you must be thinking that, look, but I have done data tests and it shows that if I send 100 messages, I get 2 transactions, and if I send 1,000 messages, I get 20 transactions. So Vikram, it works. But the problem is, to get 20 transactions, we are upsetting 800 or 980 other customers. And that is unfortunately not measured. That is what shows in our surveys, that is what shows up on social media. It's a problem. We know that it is a problem that we have to solve. So I don't think data alone, that sending more messages gets us more transactions, is justified, because it's a short-term data that doesn't factor in the long-term consequences. And we have already been bearing the brunt of those long-term consequences. So to summarize, say no to spamming. We will smartly use GPT, AI, technology. And lastly, let's respect users. Let's communicate with our users the same way we want people to reach out to us. Let's do all of this. Let's make our calling smart, and let's spark love again with our customers. And this is again something we start working on today. And hopefully we can have a dramatically different approach in just coming few weeks. This is not a year-long project. This is not multiple quarters project. This is a change of approach. Once we change our approach, we will be able to see results differently. Awesome. Moving on to some of our ongoing activities. Mission Elevate. Again, a reminder for our frontline folks or any other folks who are looking to get new experience, new perspectives, want to try different things. There are 40 plus roles open up. Please go and apply for these roles and see. I'm sure everybody will find something that they may want to try and expand their skills, get different experience, and be more successful in their career growth. So I highly encourage all our frontline folks, all our autonauts across all of India to look up at these roles and apply for these opportunities that we are opening, so that more and more of our frontline folks are able to experience and try different roles. Okay, these are the 3 top contributors to our accelerator channel in terms of feedback: Akriti, Preeti and Mrigang. There was Ruchit and Gajju also on the list, but we took them out. Highlight 1 or 2 best insights or most interesting feedback going forward, so that we are not just looking at the quantity of feedback. Yes, we want much more feedback, but also let's continue to highlight some of the interesting feedbacks as well. Looking forward to, I hope many of you are doing field visits whenever you're getting a chance. How many of you have who are live in front of me, how many of you have been on a field visit in last 2 weeks since we did last town hall? That's it, 5%. Okay, I hope more of you get to do the field visits. It will increase your empathy. It will connect you with your users. It will connect you with your front line. I can assure you will come back rejuvenated, recharged, with more force to solve their problems. And we are constantly looking for insights. For example, in one of the visits, one of the insights that we got is some of our cars are actually test drive cars or demo cars. Again, a very small thing. Maybe there are like 1% or 0.5% cars, but to ensure that with our customers we have full transparency, that we come across as experts, that our CAs do not get squeezed in. Okay, you didn't tell me. It's something that we discovered on a field visit, that look, there are demo cars or test drive cars that we are buying. Let's look at them, whether we want to continue buying them or not, and if we are buying, how do we ensure that we are showing them in a right way to our users. And another feedback which I personally liked a lot was that there are several locations which come across as unsafe. There are network issues, specifically women have highlighted. One of the things that I really appreciated is that, like, internet, when there's no internet on my mobile phone, the only thought I have is, why can't I download my Slack and emails? That's the only thought on my mind. But some women have told me that for them, the thought is not about what are they missing on mobile phone. It's about safety, it's about security. Because if you don't have internet on your phone, and if you are in a basement or if you are in a lonely place, then you are not able to reach out to somebody if you need to. These are again the perspectives you get by talking to people, by going on field visits. It's a unique insight. So many times I have been to basements of our GS basements. I have never felt. I have always thought of the lack of internet in the basement as I am not able to browse more cars. I never thought about it from a safety security perspective, like how many women and I'm sure many other people have also felt. So again, an interesting insight. Testimonials like these, messages like these. When I read about this 3 p.m., I literally told Prachi that I don't think I'll be able to talk about this without joking up. But for me, this only makes me realize the gravity and importance of what we do. Car is a very special thing in our lives, and I don't think, look at this message, look at the father, the feelings. I don't think we need more reasons, more arguments, more justifications to level up our work 100x from where we are. This is what we are doing. We are really adding joy to people's lives. Let us have this sink in, and all of us, all across India, go back and work with even more intensity on how do we create the best customer experience on the planet. I think we have a huge responsibility in our hands. So let's go and create the best experience ever. Let's spark love with our users and with our customers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.